Hello and welcome to the 100 and I've honestly lost track now. 116th dev update, perhaps. With me today, I have a special guest named Quokka. We just looked up the pronunciation of this. How you doing, Quokka?
Hey, QX. I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm hanging in there, hanging in there. Let
Thank you
me
so much for
get
having me.
no. I'm happy to have you here in this tradition of last minute kind of live dev updates instead of recording them. So this is great. I like it because it's kind of like a one and done kind of thing. There's no like having to develop anything or send it to Andy and have Andy do it and
Yeah,
then
no
pushing it
editing.
out that it's just one and done. Whatever happens, happens, and we just roll with it, that kind
hmm
of thing. All right, so let's get started. We had you on back in the old days. We had a show called the Sigma Update with CW and myself, and I believe we had you on there. Were you by yourself at that point?
Um, I don't remember. I
That's
remember
so
the
long
last
ago.
time I spoke with you was I think I was with MG Pie and we were talking about Ergo NFTs, but that was like, you know, 5, 6 months ago, probably. Maybe
Yeah,
more. No, that's like a year
that's
ago.
like got to be like 10 years in crypto
Oh
time,
my
man.
God, yeah.
All right, so let's talk about that NFT. So what? Let's recap for everybody because there's a lot of newcomers who don't even know who you are. I mean, I called you Quokka forever, and now we just realized it's Quokka. What brought you to this ecosystem? What projects are you working on? Let's start with that. Who the hell
Yes.
are you?
Okay. Who am I? I'm a marsupial. I have no natural predators. I live in Australia. I don't live in Australia. I'm a developer, mainly, and also, I'm the how should I word this? I'm okay. I'm the founder of Sky Harbor, along with my co-founder Crass, and I'm also co-founder of Duck Pools with Crass. And I've worked on a couple other projects in this ecosystem. I'm working with Canon on the field as well. But yeah, what brought me to Ergo is that first of all, I'm a big proof of work guy. I was big in Bitcoin. I I I believe in proof of work more than proof of stake. But that's a topic for another day.
That's a long
Um,
topic. That can go for
yeah,
hours.
yeah, yeah. So, and when I found Ergo scripts and the EUTXO model. I just thought it was great. The simplicity of Ergo script working with you know UTXO is fantastic. It's a lot more secure to do UTXOs, and Ergo script is easy to read, so it's easier to kind of vet the smart contract. And I'm not a smart contract writer myself. I usually leave that up to Crass, but I'm a software developer, so I build the front end and back end.
Or you shouldn't admit that you're front end developer. You'll be bombarded with so
Oh,
many
I don't care,
DMs.
man. Dude, like, come on, guys, get a front end dev, make it look a little pretty, just a little. But yeah, I mainly do front end, but like on Sky Harbor, we do have a back end developer. It's Supreme. But I lead the project and I take care of the servers and all that. But whatever. No, nobody really cares about that too much either. Um, yeah, that's what I do. Thank you for asking.
All right, let's dig deep into why I had John here because I think it's important. Right now, the Sigma Nuts are working on a document called Vital Applications of Ergo, and we're trying to list out um, DApps or projects that we feel are very important to have a polished, smooth experience for first touch users. So somebody comes from Cardano Bridge, somebody comes from Bitcoin, somebody comes from Ethereum, Dogecoin, whatever. They're going to come to Ergo and they're going to start using some of the DApps and some of the projects, and they're going to say, why isn't this working like I expected to, or what's going on here? So we're trying to identify some of those first touch apps that really need to be 100% functioning perfectly as they would expect to in other ecosystems, considering that we are UTXO and people maybe come from account-based models or proof of stake where block time is 15 seconds and that kind of thing. Regarding
Yeah.
those, taking those into account, um, we have to consider. So Sky Harbor is on that list. It was one of the first things that I put on that list because of that. But before we dive into that, um, let's dive into what the heck Sky Harbor is for everybody on Ergo that has no idea what an NFT is.
Yeah, easy peasy. It's a NFT marketplace, and an NFT is just a token with an emission of one, with an artwork attached to it. So, yeah,
You
it's
so
simple. Yeah,
you can't trade fungible tokens on Sky Harbor at all?
you can actually trade fungible tokens on Sky Harbor as long as it's got an image attached to it. If it has metadata, that's an image. So, yeah.
Oh, very cool.
And that's actually a good question because Blitz TCG just came out,
Right.
with their packs, and you can trade those on Sky Harbor.
So what'd you do with Blitz TCG recently? There was some chatter in the back end. You guys hooked
Yeah,
up, did some kissy kiss, and some stuff is all fancy somewhere. Something.
yeah, all that. And in addition to all that, we spoke about this for a while back since CNFTCon in 2022. Um, they he wanted a marketplace, and I said you can have your Sky Harbor marketplace on your website. Like the whole point of Ergo smart contracts is that it's decentralized and anybody can interact with the smart contract using their own front end. And so we spoke about it. 2 years passed. He's got the artwork released, and we are currently working together on like implementing Sky Harbor Marketplace onto his UI. And there's not a lot of video games or NFT games that have marketplaces, in the game itself. So we think that's neat. We think that's cool. And that's the beauty of the decentralized marketplace. And we do have a back end to kind of help with that. Because if everybody just interacted directly with the smart contracts, it would be super slow. It would be dumb slow. So that's the point of our back end, is to speed that up and also make it easier to build transactions and all that. It's the intended purpose of Sky Harbor, to be honest, because our front end, our there's just so many edge cases with NFTs. We
Hmm.
prefer if you build your own UI, and implement the marketplace there and customize the metadata or like the search and the filtering based on that.
So
That's my rant.
So are we beholden to your back end to be able to have a smooth experience with a front end if we design it? And if somebody, let's say somebody like Cyberverse or somebody running another game came along and wanted to do that integration, are they beholden to your back end to do that? Or is that back end open source as well that you could plug in and run up your own servers to do that?
Well, I have an announcement
Oh
to make.
boy.
Is it too early?
Yeah, it's too early. Let's keep
It's
going.
too early. All right, we'll talk about it later. No,
Ignore that question then. Um, so things like royalty, that's a that's a smart contract feature that it's not based on a UI fee or anything like that. Royalty is built into the contract so that you can't you can't interact with this NFT to buy or sell or whatever until a certain percentage marked in the royalty category or register is paid out. Is that how
yeah.
that works?
Yes, on paper, that's how it should work, where it's baked into the smart contract where you have to pay the royalties to, the mint address or whatever address provided. But unfortunately, there's a new collection standard, NFT collection standard, that changed the metadata, or at least the formatting of the metadata, um, to allow for multiple artists to get mint addresses. But this clashes with our current smart contract and backend. And so instead of somebody writing, 10%, it gives out 0.2% royalties, which is a huge problem. And I will admit it, obviously, it's a really big problem. And we are working on fixing that, like, as we speak. So, yeah.
So how does that work? You have to rewrite an entire new smart contract and and put everything from the old that's currently on auction into the new one, or you can't even do that. The old ones still have to exist in the old smart contract, and anything new goes into the new smart contract for that.
Yeah, well, we can't move anything from the old smart
Right?
contract,
Yeah. Only
clearly.
only the people who put stuff there can move it. So
Yeah.
they can pull down and put back up.
Exactly, exactly. So, yeah, what's gonna happen is we'll have to adjust the old smart contract, and then have adjust our backend to kind of take into account all of that new metadata as well. So that's where all the work is, like changing the smart contract and backend, and and then we'll probably have to advise people to take off their NFTs, from the old contract, but they will still be available on Sky Harbor. We'll just keep track of both smart contracts and slowly fade away and sunset the old one.
All right, so let's go into that. Let's go into what besides that, what currently is Sky Harbor smart contract missing besides royalty divisions? Um, isn't there what was it? A collection standard? Is that EIP 34 that also needs to be implemented for recognizing collections that span different IDs or something like that?
Um, that's more like a just a new feature. It's not really something you take into account when selling individual NFTs because the NFT collection standard is more for, consolidating all of the metadata for the collection into one NFT, which is like the parent one.
So you can
Um,
take care of all of them in the front end kind of thing to show the user that these are all part of the same collection.
uh, it's funky. We will have to definitely do some back end stuff. If we did it on the front end, it would not work. And I can tell you why. It's because the way you get the initial box emission of the NFT is you have to do a recursive function to keep calling the parent transaction and block of the NFT to go all the way back to the mint address. I will say I don't know as much as other people about the new NFT collection standard, but I do know that it's like
Yeah, I mean,
it's
why would you? It's not like you run an NFT marketplace.
no, you're funny, you're funny. Um,
He
um,
hangs up. He's done. Click.
by yeah, yeah, like it's just it's an extra feature that we haven't really had time to add, and we want to do it. And like I said, we have like a quick announcement that we'll do, but like it's just it's recursive, so there's so many blocks, and since it's minted
It's exponential.
decentralized,
It's gonna slow down everything hardcore
yeah,
if you do that.
if you did it
Yeah.
only on the front end, you wouldn't see your
So on the
NFTs.
back end, you need to index this stuff in the meantime
Exactly.
and hold a database of what is where so it's easily
Hmm.
accessible. Gotcha. That sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, it's work. It's a lot of like bandwidth if you do it too often, but
Yeah,
it, it
I do know
what
that
it is.
with Ergo auctions, I've had people, they struggle at first when they're trying to get collections registered and done there. So perhaps, that could be
Hmm.
an initial step to build off of. Take what they did, look at what they did, and maybe go from there. How important do you think NFTs are in the crypto space?
I think they're really important, but I think I have a different use case for them than a lot of other people. Like I think gaming is going to be big with NFTs. I think that's very important. I think
Like
that's
what
good
Blitz
use,
is doing,
like what Blitz is doing, like what Cyber
Cyberverse.
Citizens,
Yep.
yeah, Cyberverse are doing. Um, and that's because you can implement the marketplace in your own area, and obviously, like, if you look at Steam or anything, there's a whole marketplace there, and there's a whole user, they buying and selling P2P, but like that could all be NFTs, and you could take it off of their marketplace if they weren't greedy and they wanted all the fees and all that. um Yeah, like, I like having, the fact that you can buy and sell on both Ergo auctions and have an auction for your NFT, and then, after you buy it, whatever, I don't want any more than just list it for a price on Sky Harbor. So, yeah, like, I think gaming's good. I think real world assets are gonna be a big thing eventually. I'm not sure when, like what Daniel Friedman's doing
With
with,
tokenization of assets with Palmyra.
exactly.
Yeah.
Palmyra, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Zengate, and I think they're starting off with tea, so I think that's cool.
The bourbon now, he just told us on the last AMA.
Really?
Yeah, he's got some Southern bourbon that he's working on that are from these, like, casks from, like, 30, 40 years ago in the early '80s, like, before I was born,
Mhm.
and, and they're looking to try to do fractional ownership of them via NFTs. So, I mean, these casks
Yeah,
are big and they're really expensive for, you gotta be fairly wealthy to invest in that kind of stuff. So fractionalizing
yeah,
it out would be pretty neat. As
that's
far as I
cool.
go. Yeah,
I
so
wanna sip. I know
yeah,
if I
yeah, I think he's
but
bringing some samples trying to bring some samples to Rare Vegas, in Vegas, so if you
oh,
are you gonna come to
okay.
Rare?
I might. I don't know. No promises.
Okay, all right. All
Mm,
right, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about how you see. So you're telling me that the future of gaming on the blockchain are things like Blitz, Cyber Citizen, Cyberverse, where you actually own your assets, right?
mhm.
You have an NFT, you own it, you can give it to somebody else for free or sell it on a secondary marketplace, and Mr. Pixel or Blitz TCG can't do crap. Low-key Nerd can't do crap about it. Unless they block it off at the game site specifically.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can go around that.
So my question is, how do we eventually in the future? I know it's not going to happen soon, but what do you think it's going to look like when somebody like EA with their loot boxes and they start a new ladder, so they wipe out everything that you did before in Diablo, and all your gear is gone and useless that you used and found and that kind of thing. You don't even have it to like look at it anymore, kind of thing. How do you think those guys are going to come into the space in the future? And honestly hijack it. They're gonna find some way to not let you retain your asset or make your asset useless in the future, perhaps. And I always revert back to one of my favorite games that I played with my kids when they were younger, Skylanders.
Okay,
You bought
yeah.
these little figurines, and
Mhm.
we must have purchased every single one like 10 games in a row. They come out with a new one each year. So I think by the fifth version or so, my kids are young. I didn't know. They didn't know. I just pulled my original character like from the first game that I bought and I set it on the new portal. And the character lit up and you could use it, and my mind was
Oh.
blown that I could the game cared enough that they kept a character in it and remodeled it, gave it all its same attributes, formulated it for the game, and put it on that pad, and I could still use it. And that's what made me stick with it for another 5 or 6 cycles until the kids grew up. But that kind of stuff's amazing, but that's rare in the in the gaming place space. So my question to you is, how do you foresee these guys either embracing it and doing something cool like Cyber Citizens and Blitz, or trying to ruin it the best they can?
Oh, man. I don't think they care about, you know, getting their games on NFTs because they're already if they're gonna do it, they have to do it right, or else it's just a money grab, and then what's gonna happen is, like, your thing's not gonna light up, you know? It's they will sunset it. I think the key to this is having a good community that has, builds their own stuff along with, um, the main people that built the original NFTs. So, like, just having a good community. I hate to say that. Like, and also the people who go in, they have to allow for a good community. They have to kind of build some tools to help them interact with everything themselves. Like just work with the people. Like Cyber Citizens is doing well. They're airdropping stuff and people are building extra tools around Cyber Citizens. Blitz TCG is doing decent. Like they have I think they open source their front end, and I know, like, just can't see EA open sourcing anything. So,
No, that's true.
yeah.
That's true. I think the advantage here is what you spoke to as well, that the this ecosystem and these kind of gaming blockchain ecosystems are going to be so well developed by the time these guys even probably try to jump in, perhaps. So I think you're right. I
Mhm.
think they're going to have to cater to what it is currently, but that's I don't think that's going to stop them from trying to erode it and bring their fiat based loot box systems into the game where you know something. Yeah,
They'll
yeah,
stop supporting it someday. Yeah, it's
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
happen. It's the
yeah.
same way how 99% of crypto is a scam. If you go on Solana and you buy
Hmm.
a coin, dog poop coin for, 10
With
minutes
hat,
after release
poop with hat.
with hat, and then, oh, wow, the dev's gone after an hour. Okay, yeah, it's the same thing, but on a longer time frame.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. That is true. We got a quick question from the audience.
Mhm.
Guifa Online, who is part of Erg One, big member in Erg One.
Oh, yeah.
They say, "Hi, Quokka. Any news about Cyber Collection Mate?" Question mark.
I love
I
this.
think he's
I
been
love this
asking
guy.
about that for a little while.
He has, and I will get it listed this week. this week,
Oh, you're
guaranteed in my
recorded
bag.
now. It's on
I'm
YouTube.
recorded.
He's
I
gonna
know,
clip
you can
that.
hold me to it. You can find me and hunt me down if I don't. But, yeah, I definitely think that's our absolute biggest bottleneck right now is collection listing. The thing is anybody can really list anything on Sky Harbor. It's just gonna be unverified and, um,
What's the
people
process
don't
look like
want.
in the back end? Like, let's have people understand what the technical process in the back end to do that.
Yeah, so
You're like,
we have.
I just update database to Y instead of it.
Yeah, yeah, we just have a list. We literally just have a table that's like, all right, these are the collections we've kind of vetted.
Okay.
And then everything else that's listed, you just show their mint address. Like if you go on skyharbor.com/collection/ and then type the mint address, there's all the NFTs under that mint address. So it's like it's not like you can't buy and sell on Sky Harbor,
Yeah.
if you're unverified.
Yeah, it brings that level of trust. It makes it for, people less technical than others to be able to say, yeah, okay, I can buy that. I don't need
Yeah,
to, otherwise we can look up the mint address ourselves, follow back and see that it's correct. So you have to do
mhm,
some due diligence when somebody submits something. You have to research into it, look into the project, look into the
yeah,
whole thing, make
the
sure everything's
owners.
legit. So
There's
it's
been
more
scams before, and it's like it's demoralizing. It really makes you lose a lot of hope and
right.
faith.
There was
But
that big scam with was it Brochain was the big thing
yeah,
that
bro, on
happened.
chain, that was crazy.
Oof.
And shout out to Almond, the internet almond or whatever.
He did the whole
he
detective work, right? That
he
was a
did the whole
insane
detective.
write-up.
Yeah, yeah, and he messaged me probably a few days before ever releasing it, maybe a week or two, and we all kind of talked about it, and we're like, "No way, this guy, he's like."
It's a prominent
He
figure,
seemed
yeah.
legit, yeah, and then we all looked more into it, and we found he's just made a bunch of collections, and that's why I've been kind of like we've been not accepting a bit more collections lately, specifically AI ones. But yeah, yeah.
So, run through that really quickly. So, tell me briefly what he did that was bad, and tell me how you prevent that in the future, whether it be something you can do on Sky Harbor itself or it's something the community needs to look out for.
Yeah, that's a good question. So the what he did was he initially started off as a good, a decent artist releasing artwork, but then selling it on Sky Harbor and Ergo auctions. But then eventually, I guess he wasn't making enough money as we got more into the bear market. He started creating more fake collections and
From
or
different
just like
users too, different fake new
made
users.
new wallets
Yeah.
and then make AI stuff or maybe some other stuff and like he'd get his friends on and they would drop 10, 20 NFTs and just disappear like rug. And he did this over and over and over again, probably for like 10, 11, 12 collections. I don't remember. It's been like a year or two now, but it was a decent bit of collections and just kind of draining the Ergo community out of some money. And that's disappointing. And you can find all of the transactions lead back to Bro on Chain's address. The thing is, it's funny. It's good that he's not that
He
technically
tried to use a
savvy.
mixer, right? He tried.
Exactly, but he botched it and it led right back to him. And so the solution and all that, Sky Harbor's solution is we want to allow anybody to create a collection. So, you know, if, if you go on an unverified collection right now, it kind of looks kind of sketchy. There's a warning sign. You just see the mint address. And we understand, like, okay, that's a bad user experience if you're a new collection.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but the solution is just allow anybody to create a username and a profile picture, and we'll do that all on chain because we'll have to connect their mint address to all the data, of course, and then we're gonna have a second like premium category for verified, and that's the people that actually have been promoting and selling and keeping track and having good community engagement for a while, maybe a certain amount of volume, and those people can get the verified check mark. It's kind of like how OpenSea does it. If you go there, people have usernames, but then there's only a certain amount with a check mark next to it. So the solution, uh, I guess, is just do your due diligence, and eventually, if they do well enough, maybe we'll co-sign it.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So where right now, what is a revenue stream for Sky Harbor?
Transaction fees, we get 2% per
2%,
buy.
2% of all sells, buys, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, and that is, but that's not something, is that something built into the smart contract or something
It's
built
in
into
the
the,
smart contract.
okay, so even when
We
Blitz
do
uses
have
a,
a Yeah, yeah, we do have a like a front end fee that's like 0.03 or just a really small amount that we'll probably take out soon because we mainly did it for like because we weren't getting enough volume to really support the servers and also some image optimization at the time. But yeah, if Blitz TCG implemented it, that front end fee wouldn't be there, the 0.03, but the 2% fee would be there. Yeah.
gotcha, cool. All right, so one of the other pain points, that we notice with Sky Harbor right now too is that, you are relying directly on IPFS for your content delivery. So, if everybody knows, no, you're not?
I mean, we rely on whatever the user puts,
Yeah, correct. It's
on
drawing
the
from
NFT.
wherever in IPFS. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So if everybody is familiar with IPFS, even in Nautilus, if you try to refresh your NFT real quickly, like you switch to the NFT tab, switch over to your wallet, switch back to NFT, you get the broken image and you click on it. And if you ever right click on it or click on it and then right click on the broken image, you'll copy the address and you go to a web page and paste it in. You'll see that it's essentially it's what's it called? It's just verifying you're human. So you hit it, you click the box and then reload, and it says, yeah, this guy's a human. So we'll reload the rest of them. So when you're trying to load a huge Sky Harbor page and maybe you're going in the same IPFS portal that wants to check that and you're not checking that and there's no
It's
way to
not
see
only
that.
that. That's
Yeah.
not what's stopping the loading, in my opinion.
Oh,
What's stopping the loading? Well, that might be one. I'm glad you bring that up because
okay.
that's
What's
I actually haven't heard that.
okay.
Um, that you have to prove that you're human to see it.
Yep, yep.
Because the issue that we have is that since there's such low like volume and people seeing these NFTs, they don't get cached often. The I Because that's how IPFS works. They cache the images that get seen more recently. Um,
Let me see
and
right now while you're talking. Keep talking. Keep talking.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. So like they're stored somewhere, and if you look at them for the first time after a month, it takes a long time to load the image. So when you go on Sky Harbor and a lot of these images haven't been loaded in a long time, it's just going to keep loading and eventually time out. And then you have to wait probably 10-20 minutes for it to get recached, and then you can go back on the website to see the image. It's a bad user experience, and it's a mix of um like, okay, we just use the image provided, and that's because we can't, currently we can't afford the
It's not cheap.
IPFS.
It's not
It's
cheap at all.
not
Yeah.
cheap. It is not cheap, and we did it in the beginning for a bit, and people I think that was our issue, people took it for granted that we were doing that, uh, so when we took it off, people were like, "What's going on?" Hey, we just can't afford it, and one thing people can do, it's also kind of like, you can put a little blame on the artist when you upload an image that's, a megabyte, 2
Yeah.
megabytes, 3, like,
Yeah. Scale
you
that to
have to do some
1,000 on a page you're trying to. Yeah.
yeah, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you have to take this stuff into account, and I don't blame them because, artists, they make art, and they wanna release it in the highest quality, but it's all about, your user's experience as well. It also depends on the artwork, like, there's somebody, let me find them, Melissa Art.
Maurizia art. Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, she's fantastic, or they're fantastic, and, they make amazing art, and it's high quality. That's different. That's like, alright, it's meant to be collected and be high quality, so it's fair. But if you're making a 10K collection PFP, like BFF, Big Fucking Trucks, what was it? Big Fat Trucks or whatever?
I don't know.
I don't know, man. Dude, that was the first collection on Skyheart, like the first 10, absolutely destroyed our bandwidth usage, destroyed it because each image is like 10, 20, 30 megabytes at least,
Oh my goodness.
and they're GIFs. It's because they're GIFs.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And so it takes forever loading. And when we were optimizing those, our budget, our we first month, it's
Just
because of
rip through it.
specifically because of that collection, it was a lot of money, and I had to solve some stuff to figure that out. There's a lot of road bumps in Ergo NFTs, a lot of road bumps, and like it's not like an easy space to build in. I'll say that. Um, but yeah, here's what it is. It's fun.
I've been trying to trigger that on your site for that thing, but it looks like you're masking the IPFS address on the image, um, at least in the thing, right?
What are you talking about?
You're masking the IPFS address. So whenever I try it, oh, there we go. There it is. Okay. Yeah. If an image hasn't loaded yet, it is the address
Yeah,
is
there we put a loader in.
loading infinity.svg. So if you got
Yeah.
rid of that loading infinity, I could test it, and you can see essentially
Hmm.
if it was trying to choke me or not. But yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think if you go on the token page, that should be fine, but I'm not sure.
Oh, let's see.
I'll have to check.
Where's the token page? This
You
is
click
live.
on an
We got
image.
time. You can just
Yeah.
click on the image
Okay.
right there. So view token page, and then copy
Just click on the image. Just click on the
link
image.
address. Yes, that does it. All right, so let me go to one right now that is dying on me. 1 minute. Okay, here's one that's dying on me. View token page. It's loading. Copy link address. Going to Cloudflare. No, it shows up in Cloudflare instantly. It's got to be some
It does
weird
it?
relay. Yeah, yeah.
Ah, okay. All right.
I don't know, but
Interesting.
it's still spinning on my page there on Sky
Maybe it's
Harbor.
Cloudflare itself. Maybe I just need a different gateway.
So anyway, so yeah, I think Ergo Explorer uses 3 different gateways, I think, as default, and
Mhm.
he rolls over
Yeah.
one to the other.
Yeah,
Kind
that's
of thing.
fair. That's fair. That's
Yeah.
also another thing is when you load a bunch of them at the same time. I mean, that's the token page, so that's probably not the issue. But um, yeah, if you scroll down, you'll see like related NFTs.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So what's the solution beyond that to get some sort of high performance? That would be to cache them yourselves. I think Ergo auctions, scans and caches everything.
yeah. We want to do that for sure, and if we can afford it, we would. That'd be one of the
So you
things
could
we
probably
do.
starting slow. You could probably cache for the current demand on local servers, essentially, right on whatever web servers using, and not have to use some third party robust content delivery network that has like your stuff cached in California, in New
Yeah,
York, in Europe,
CDN.
and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not. I think the initial build is just gonna take a while. So that's like kind of we don't want to focus on. We got a lot of other stuff we got to focus on right now, and and like personally, we the skyharbor.io I don't think is the product. I think the product is our back end and smart contracts for people to implement onto their own sites. That's what I think. And Blitz does it well. They connect our the smart contract and back end, get the data from there, and then connect that data to their own data in their database so they can get images faster. Maybe there's an IPFS image, but then that maybe they also store it on
Mhm.
Firebase, so they grab the Firebase image instead of the IPFS, and then grab extra data in their database, things like that. Yeah,
Okay. All right, so let's talk about that real quick. You didn't think we were going to talk long about Sky Harbor, man. You're like, this is
I
a
really
5 minute
didn't know.
conversation.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
was
so
like, okay.
let's lead up to the last part here. Is that what are you guys doing? You have an announcement to make. What are you guys doing with the back end, front end? What's your path forward with Sky Harbor right now?
Yeah, so the the announcement is that we are creating a raffle so we can get the funding to update our backend and smart contracts to allow for the new NFT collection standard so that people royalties can get paid out to the multiple artists, and that's big. And then we also want to also here I have a list, but the second thing is we want to allow for any token to be able to be used on Sky Harbor because currently you can use ERG, SIG-USD, SIG-RSV as well, but we'll build a smart contract that's any token can be used like
How,
CYPS.
how do you how do you prevent somebody from creating a token and creating a fake liquidity, not a fake, but creating a liquidity pair where you elevate the price of a token and then you pay in that token on Sky Harbor, but you can never cash it out because you have
Oh no,
like
it's not gonna be like it's not gonna be like Babel fees where it gets converted. It's gonna be like whoever lists the token wants it in this specific
okay, so it's up to the
token.
person who's listing it
It's
to
up to the
be
person listing.
okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully, they're
So
smart
if
enough not to take PooCoin or something like that.
yeah,
Let's
exactly.
okay.
Yeah, I was initially I didn't want that to happen initially. Like I didn't want any token available because the royalties will be in the token that's being paid in, and I wouldn't want the artist to kind of get paid in poop coin. But you know, who am I to determine that? Forget it. I'll just
Yeah,
leave it up
yeah,
to the
maybe they
listeners.
want to. Maybe they want to.
Yeah,
Alright, so
who
tell me
knows?
what that raffle looks like. What's your goal? When are you gonna list the raffle? What's the goal? How long is it gonna
Yeah.
run for?
So the raffle will probably be nothing is like all the full details will be out later today in a Medium article. Um, so I'll give you a taste, but we are looking for $8,000 for back end and smart contract development. There will be some prizes in collaboration with cyber citizens on the amounts that you donate to the raffle, and the the how long it's going to run. I was thinking 3 weeks. Who knows? Maybe last second we'll discuss and then make it a month or maybe less. Who knows? But yeah, we just want to kind of gauge community sentiment before absolutely releasing it. But we will be releasing a Medium article, and we will be taking feedback. And yeah, the everything will go directly to the developers building it. And I personally think it's a it's a small price to pay for much better experience on the NFT front on Ergo because the backend update is going to be more than just, oh, okay, we added the new collection standard and tokens. It's also going to be kind of optimizing it and making it so where it's easier to update in the future. And that's important because then we'll also be adding sound NFTs because for the last 2 3 years, we haven't been able to have sound NFTs. But now that after this update or audio, sorry, audio NFTs, after this, you'll have audio NFTs. And I think that's cool. And we weren't able to do that with the last backend that was built. It's just more iterable. It's more, yeah, you can build on it better. So maybe
So
more updates in the future.
alright, so what's that look like for your front end?
That's actually I'm so glad you asked because if this raffle goes well, one thing in addition to, the prizes that we're working on with cyber citizens, in addition to that, I will be open sourcing the front end. And so instead of you guys paying us to build the front end, we'll open source it. You guys can do whatever you want with the front end and add whatever you like and make PRs. And if it's something that people want, I'll accept the PR and we'll move it forward. And you'll obviously see all the code. I'm thinking we'll have two versions of the front end. We'll have a really old version, like back, I don't know if you know, but Sky Harbor was kind of built on Ergo Hack 3 or 4. I don't know. It was an older one. Um, we were gonna build it anyway, but we were like, might as well do it during the Ergo hack. But
Mhm.
yeah, though that initial version doesn't have a backend. It's purely smart contracts where it scans the smart contract and you can interact with it, building like the transaction locally. It's just super slow.
Well,
It's old.
I could see that used as, somebody just wanted to run that locally on their own machine, and
Exactly,
it's
exactly.
kinda like
And
a fail safe for Sky Harbor essentially for
yeah.
non-devs that could spin it up and do what they needed to do.
Well, I will say maybe you might have to do a bit of dev work because let's say we do release this new smart contract. The transactions we built on that previous version might not apply.
Gotcha.
Um, but you can work with the community on that, and it's gonna be close enough, is what I'll say. Like it won't require too much work.
So we could have, maybe Crooks Finance spin up a Crooks Sky Harbor.
There you go. There you go. It's gonna be dumb slow, and you'll only see the latest 10 NFTs before waiting 10 minutes to see the next 10. But you know what? Um, who am I to judge? You can do that. I respect that he he really uses the decentralized smart contracts and everything open source to his advantage, and I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. All right, so we'll look for that raffle later today. We're talking about it in the SIGs as well. Hopefully this Sunday we'll have more
Mhm.
discussions about and finalizing our list of very important things in the Ergo ecosystem for first touch people. And as I said, Sky Harbor has been on that list and been talked about in the SIGs meeting before too. So hoping that SIGs can help out with that auction too, perhaps as part of the community as a whole. So we'll see how that goes, sir.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
All right, you want to jump into the dev update, the
Let's
the
do it. Oh my God.
readings.
52 minutes in. I thought we
40.
would have started. Oh,
The
40,
runtime's
40
40
something.
minutes. We're good. We've been
Uh,
chatting for 52 minutes. Runtime is 40. All right, let me
nothing important.
switch to the right screen here. All right, here we go. You want to take Shadow Pool or you want to take Kushti? You want to go first or you want me to?
You go first. I'm
All right,
finding
here
the
we go.
server.
Oh.
I found it. I found it. We're good.
Shadow Pool, L1 real-time trading based on time-limited multi-sigs. That's C8. Created a token shell contract. He's got the GitHub right there, and he's working on Vite unit tests. So layer one real-time trading based on time-limited multi-sigs. I wonder if that's for Shadow Pool. Wonder if it's for what's it called? The field. Maybe not. Maybe it's something else I'm not thinking of. But cool, very cool. All right, Ergo Protocol R&D by Kushti. That's all you, sir.
All right, I'm just gonna read it because it's probably
You
way
got
above
it.
my pay
Hit it.
grade.
Hit it.
Ergo Protocol R&D, mostly on Sigma 6.0, done support done support for header serialization before it was possible to use only headers provided in context. Now possible to pass headers via input bars or registers. And there's the pull request for it. And support for header serialization in Ergo Tree, Ergo Script. Sounds pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
Scorex Foundation, Sigma State Interpreter pull request, and now trying to introduce generic deserialize type for all the Sigma types in Sigma State Interpreter, and enabling execute from var / execute from reg in Ergo Script. That's pretty cool. Doing another Sigma code base cleanup
He
on
likes
the
to clean
way.
up lately. He's been cleaning up a lot of stuff.
He's an optimizing king.
Mm-hmm.
New node PR on cleaning mempool from transactions double spend in blocks just after processing of the blocks. There's a PR for it. And he also reviewed a pull request for Sigma Rust, two of them, along with another PR that's been merged and now good for Sigma Rust release. All right. And he's been working on Dexy, checking LP contracts and how they are different from Spectrum, and will deploy in the mainnet later this week. Cool.
Awesome.
Mainnet. All right. Still looking for update key holders. For now, only me and code for us there. Chain Cache. This one I'm excited for. Finalizing an abstract to submit to one venue. Still looking for Rust devs to help with Chain Cache server. So if you're a Rust dev and you're really wanting to get your hands dirty on some really cool financial technology, there's your chance. Ergo Devs DAO. Multi-sig is set up, but we need to test withdrawal, discussing structure and how to help with Ergo Hack coming. All right. And I'm guessing they're going to use the DAO to distribute like the winning funds, like the winners funds.
Actually, we had a discussion of this. What's it called? We were going to, in the SIGs, the plan was that we were going to try to do is create a community raffle, at least for the community side of it, and have community donate for a secondary prize pool. And then whoever donated gets sent DAO tokens for an Ergo Hack 8 DAO. And then those people are then able to vote on Padilla, and whoever wins those votes, the funds are automatically transferred to for that kind of thing. So we're
Okay.
planning to do that. I don't think Ergo Hack for the big prizes are going to use the Ergo Devs DAO at least. At least it's not this time. Those are all done, pulled out of the multi-sig wallet from Ergo Foundation, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
All right, we've got Dusek with Sigma Rust, performance improvements for interpreter. In some extreme cases, interpreter as much as 300 to 400 times faster, which is amazing. CW made a
Wow.
post about that the other day. So some instances really, really speed those up. Landed support for transaction validation. You can now validate transactions using Sigma Rust. Transaction context to new now scales much better with the number of inputs. Fixed an index of bug and interpreter. Flat map should now be less restrictive in the types of lambdas it allows, same as version 5 semantics. Fixed a bug in the byte array too long that would cause wrong outputs for certain inputs. And PGR 456 from Sigma Space added missing functions implementations of X secret key, X public key, and duration path to C Swift Go bindings, and there's a pull right there. All right, let's see. Now I think you got. Oh, look at that! Low key nerd is next for you.
Oh yeah, all right. Blitz TCG, and there's me.
Yep.
Quokka and I are close to launching the native marketplace on Blitz TCG that leverages our existing framework. We're pretty excited as it helps make both projects feel more mature. Reminds me of the old boy Ethereum NFT projects that are still around today. I've also completed the UI for our burn contract, so users will soon be able to burn their cards in exchange for Blitz tokens. Yeah,
That's such a cool idea that you're burning an asset to actually bring into circulation Blitz tokens. It's like,
I think it's really smart. Yeah, because you would need to burn a lot to actually make buy new cards, but it's smart. Some people just want to get rid of them.
mhm.
You know. Yeah.
um, oh, we've got a Louis Vatra. Not a big update from me, as I forgot which bugs Marty and Noob have fixed in Padilla front end. Classic Louis. Create DAO front end is being worked on, so finally the last piece can soon be tested in the beta. Creating your own DAO, amazing. Also, some changes to the odds and blitz pack opening to aim distribution of cards to desired outcome. Yeah, that was a good fix they did
Yeah.
soon after
Yeah.
release. Well, I mean,
I will say I minted some rare
I
ones.
bet you did.
Yeah, I was like, dang, this is too good. Click, click, click.
All right, we got Josemai for you, reputation system.
All right, Reputation System by Josemai. Currently working on making the Rust component compile in WASM for the web version, WebAssembly. Additionally, researching higher level functionalities with Bitcoin Network, perhaps runes with an eye towards Ergo Hack. Integration with closed networks like X, GitHub, etc. And if you don't know about runes, they are just tokens on Bitcoin. They're very different, but that's like kind of the basic way of saying it.
Yeah, and the big news is that
The
Rosen
bridge,
has
right?
a pathway over. They've got the code
Yep.
figured out there, so that's going to
Yep.
be pretty huge. There was just a tweet the other day from a rune project in Bitcoin,
Hmm.
cat something, I believe it was, and they're excited about discovering Ergo and talking about that and bringing runes over and seeing how
Really?
that works. Yeah, so super
That's
super
cool.
cool.
No, people don't understand that. All right, EUTXO is going to go over to Bitcoin and those tokens and runes and ordinals, and they're just going to massacre them. Like the EUTXO is way people have been in this space for years now, and Bitcoin is just now getting
Yeah.
these tokens. So people doing complex UTXO transactions over here, it's going to be kind of it's going to be light work over there.
Mhm.
So I hope a lot of people it interacts back and forth. Anyways.
We've got Aberg with Satergo. Added a connection test for when a remote node is specified. Oh, perfect. That's good. Because when you set up the wallet and you can choose to have like a fully synced node, you can choose to have a like what's it called, a snapshot node, or you can choose to do remote node. When you choose remote node, it takes you to another page where you put in the node address you want to use as a remote node for the wallet. And in the past, you just hit next, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So it's nice that he has a check to make sure that the node can be reached and it's accessible and it's good before you go. And oh, look, Coltier is wondering if that
Today
was.
is the dev update. Scroll up a little. Scroll up a little, man.
All right, you've
Yes,
got
sir. Comet Team
there you go.
drunk. Oh my
And
god.
you got his update right there. Comment update with Coltier. It's all you. A couple down. Yeah.
Where is Comet update?
Yeah.
We started rewarding Comet/Erg liquidity providers. If you provide at least 1 million Comet and lock it for a year, you get back 20% in HODL Comet. If you lock it for 3 years, you get 50% back in HODL Comet. Get wrecked.
Wow. That's pretty generous. All right, we've got a big one from Roads and Bridge.
Oh yeah.
Why don't you take this one and I'll take the Sigmanauts one next.
Okay, yeah. Rosenbridge. So Rosenbridge slash RoseNet. They started implementing PubSub APIs. Um, Rosen SDK, package name to be determined. They wrote some proposals for the SDK structure. They start communications with a team for outsourcing the package development. All right. Uh, Rosen Service, they started refactoring asset calculation logic for providing more detailed data on the amount of locked slash bridged assets. So they're building, stuff for people who want to build on Rosen Bridge. So that's cool. Guard service, revamp TSS keys and config, and Rosenbridge scanner, store extractors, initialization, status, and database. And they're working on abstract Ergo extractors to unify extractors format.
A funny thing happened in chat the other day. Somebody was
Mm-hmm.
commenting. I can't remember who it was, but somebody was like, "Look, I'm at a real crossroads here. I love Ergo, but I love Rosen. I don't know whether to, invest more in Rosen or invest more in Ergo. This is honestly some tough choices.
It's a fair question.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a tough. So I said, just diversify inside of Ergo. You'll be safe.
I'm the same way. What happened was I really wanted to run a watcher, but it took all of my erg to be able to run one. And I was like, dang, now if Ergo goes up and Rosen goes down, it's stupid. So I
It's
had to, yeah.
It's been
Yeah.
pretty good. It's been what's it called? It's been staying up ahead lately. There was time where it would rise slower and drop faster, but it's lately for some
Yeah.
reason. I guess it's the news. It's been rising a little more and dropping a little
Mhm.
less with
I
the
stopped checking,
moves.
my guy. I had
Oh
to get
yeah,
off
I
of
know.
the
I hear
charts
you.
because it really gets to
It's
you.
tough. I know. I know.
Yeah.
All right, we got Sigmanauts update from Rust in My Eye. In general, the Sigmanauts welcome new Sigcans, Abhishek P. and Maritza Art, who you mentioned earlier. Some discussions were had about Twitter. There were concerns too many meme coin retweets by Ergo account. QX has restricted access in their ideas to use a tool he wrote that is very simple and could be used for community collab on tweets. Essentially, enter the tweet and people can vote it up and down, and it lists the posts in order of best votes. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. There's
That's
also
cool.
there's also
Oh.
there's also what's it called? I think Glasgow put forward there's an actual like a GitHub software that integrates with the dev side of Twitter that you can put in GitHub polls and that kind of thing for tweets, and then it automatically posts them after the poll is accepted, kind of thing. So there are several options to do that. Thanks for reminding me, Rustin. Appreciate it. Sig's DAO updates. The votes to promote Lycan and Paul the Sigma have both passed. Congratulations. Welcome aboard. Ergo ecosystem, vital systems, and projects discussion is ongoing. That's what we were talking about earlier, the vital systems and projects sheet. And that's a working document. Meeting notes, discussions about the recent proposal to liquidate treasury tokens once a month at no more than 1% price impact on the DEX per total. Yeah, we were talking about that, essentially taking some of the tokens that we've been donated to the SIG treasury, converting a very small percentage to SIG USD, loaning those out on duck pools, and using the funds from there. So it's, why not make the money work for you as far as that goes. So yeah, so that was an idea that was voted and passed. So we just have to start doing it. Discussions about the mining pool and payments for mining pool stats banner. Yeah, that passed. So we have the banner up. That's fun. Hackathon planning discussions. That was what we just discussed earlier, where we will try to use a DAO to distribute the community funds there. Brainstorm, we got more revenue streams for the SIG's treasury after Sigma Lock. Four Eyes, which is MG Pi and LGD, are writing Sigma Lock for us, so that'll be fun once that comes out. And here's a link to the notes. Mining Pool, the banner made by Maverick, has been added to the Mining Pool stat site. The pool is still growing. It hovers around 90 to 100 gigahash, so it's been great. QX has been working on the pool notification bots and has implemented direct message block notifications and which miner is found when the block is posted on the block. So that's handy. Here's an update on the treasure. We had a withdrawal of 4,000 ERG to pay for the blockchain conference gold sponsorship. Current balance is 25,000 ERGs plus all the treasury tokens that are in it. All right, we got Canon Q for you, sir.
There we go. Perfect. The field is a peer-to-pool pledging protocol where individuals can pledge assets, coins, or tokens to support a participant in a competition. The project will be DAO driven and open source. And I'm also on this team, by the way, if nobody knew. But MVP smart contracts are complete. Testing and found a few things to tidy up, but essentially wrapped up. Discussing adding backdoor for draws or to avoid exploits in the MVP code will be announced. Discussions in the Discord currently only would kick in for stuck assets and would be temporary in nature and removed completely when moving past the MVP, of course. DApp front end UI integration is ongoing for MVP. More activity coming this week, and that's me. I'll be working on that this week. Um, Probably be done early this week. Creating documentation for the guard/off-chain activities, then crafting pitch deck and FAQ to explain project and mechanics to folks. Should have by Friday at latest, and need community feedback. We'll be shifting towards a bit of marketing next week after deck is wrapped up, and you should join them on the Discord.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We've got Death Gripsum with Atomic Swap software. Basic UI for logging into password encrypted accounts is integrated. Working on hot reloading swap states for swaps that are interrupted by computer or application shutdown. Aims to automatically continue where they left off to avoid loss of funds or lost trade opportunities. And planning to incorporate a customizable price feed system that can be used to optionally automate market making and taking. Super cool. Looking forward to that. This is one of those kind of bulletproof, unstoppable things that is necessary. Before dexes and sexes, there were direct swaps and peer-to-peer swaps in Bitcoin. So this is something that needs to be there for the longevity and of the system as far as that goes. Oh, this is really nice to see that Pixel has done an update here. I'm super excited to have you read this. Go
Yeah,
for
wow. I've been getting some good ones. Cyberverse update. Enhanced lobby functionality displays the total number of online players. Cool. Parental control. Added parental control. When activated, players can't access certain features. Wow. All right. For the kids, for the children. All right. NPC market overhaul. To prevent excessive farming and stabilize the CYPX economy, players can no longer sell unlimited items to NPC market. We now have 3 merchant. Were you going to say something?
No. I'm so
Okay.
that's yeah. Go for it.
Okay. We have now 3 merchant NPCs that every one of them offers 12 deals, 6 for free to play characters, for 5 to 30 units of sellable items. Each merchant is focused on specific category: gardening, mining, and fishing. Prices range from 80% to 170% of the base price of an item. Deals reset every 6 hours. I
And that had to
love
be
that.
that had to be a tough thing to, because in these games, like, you always do that. Like you're in Final Fantasy or Pokemon or something like that. There's always that one thing you can just keep bombing back to the
Yeah,
store
yeah,
to up your wallet price. But on a game where you're actually earning real currency,
mhm.
valuable currency, it's a tricky thing to do. And I think this implementation is pretty neat. You can
Yeah, the
go to a vendor, see what they have. You've got 6 hours to provide it, so you can go farm if you want to, and provide them with that kind of stuff, and then move on. Super cool.
mhm. Yeah, they definitely thought about it
Yeah,
for a bit, so cool. New NFT reward system. Daily rewards that NFT holders had to claim daily now accumulate. Rather generous. Claiming comes with a fee starting at 20% and reducing by 5% each week. There
there
we
you
go.
go.
That's how
Yep,
you
yep.
that's how you
Pretty
balance that.
smart.
After 28 days, there is a 0% fee. Holders must activate accumulation. All right. Having events. NFT rewards were cut by 50% starting May 1st. Additional 50% cuts will occur after specific timeline shared in the game. CYPX inflation will thus be significantly reduced. Adjustment of in-game costs and fees. Adjusted several in-game costs and fees to align with the new CYPX economy. Reduced previous item prices by 75%. All right. Added sketchy dealer,
This
a
is
new
funny.
merchant who still buys unlimited amounts of items, but at prices 25% than the base item price. There's a 5 to 25% chance that the dealer will scam the player out of a quarter of the items sold. That's great.
That's awesome.
That's
I
great.
think they should also take stuff randomly out of their wallet too.
Oh my
But
god, no,
you wanna deal with a sketchy guy, you better have some not very valuable stuff in your wallet because you could get held up.
oh, that's so funny. That's hilarious. Fixes and improvements, fixed two character sprites, corrected incorrectly displayed car images in the NFT game, in-game NFT market, added the chat bubbles and improved chat accessibility, changed the watering mechanic for gardening. Watering now decreases the chance of the plant spoiling rather than reducing the growing period. All right. Added a trade chat for easier communication during P2B trading. Wow, dude. What?
Very cool.
Okay. Added recent trades to the community market interface. Implemented several smaller fixes and improvements. And for a comprehensive overview of recent updates, you can click on the Cyberverse wiki or go to the Discord server.
These guys are machines, amazing. It's like
It's
stuff's so
insane.
well thought out, everything. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, truly.
All right, let's see. We've got Neuro Yogi, who's Mark the Shark on Telegram. Finally finished database integration with Docker, Woot, for the SIG mining pool. That means that instead of reloading from API UI, we'll read from database to reduce load to mining core API server, which is great. But we just have to work on mirroring our mining core server database to another server, and that's my fault and his fault. I gave him keys to the damn server, so it's both our faults. Um, Almost 100 gigahertz hash. That's fantastic. Yep. All right, let's
Mm.
see. Anything else here? We're on May 9th. That is it. We have finished reading the dev update an hour and 1 minute later. How do you feel, Quokka?
I don't read out loud often, so my mouth is so dry right now. I should have had like a glass of water.
I'll take a drink for you. Here we go.
Oh, thank you. Cheers.
I hope that helps. All right, I asked if anybody had any more questions in chat. They didn't, which is fine. It must mean that we're just giving out so much information that they just don't
We're
even know what to ask, you know?
clearly killing it. Clearly.
All right, man. Anything else you want to end this with? Where can people find you? Do you want DMs? Like, where can? Don't forget, you made a promise online too,
I
right on the
did.
recording. What's the
I
best way
did.
to get Sky Harbor support? That kind of thing.
Yeah, so the best way to get support is on our Discord, and if you go on at skyharbor_IO on Twitter, you can find, updates from us. You'll find our Discord link as well. And if you want to follow me personally, I'm at crypto_Quokka, QUOKKA. And you can message me anywhere, just not Twitter. Don't DM me. Don't DM me because it's not because I won't respond. It's that I won't see it. Like it just keeps getting blocked out. So best way is Sky Harbor Discord, or at me on Twitter if you have a problem with me, which maybe somebody does. Yeah.
We'll see him rolling in after this. Oh,
That's
funny.
fair.
All right, man. Thanks so much. That was fun. I appreciate you coming on and chatting about Sky Harbor. I'm looking forward to what Sky Harbor's got in the roadmap in the
Mm.
future, and we'll look for that raffle coming out later tonight or this
It's gonna be
afternoon.
good. It's gonna be good. I'm telling you, because we have a whole database, and if we open source the front end, you can use our database because we use GraphQL, so you
Hmm.
can basically use anything on that we permit anonymously, and you can build out the data yourself. You can show any kind of analytics you want, and I think I don't know, that's pretty big. It's gonna be cool. Anyway,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
thanks for having me on. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks so much, sir. Have a good one. Bye bye, everybody.